Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of NJ Real Estate Talk. I'm here with my colleague Ed Verdel, and we're with the VIP team at Compass in North Jersey. And today we have a very exciting topic. We want to talk about the many benefits of owning your home.
Max, you and I have had a lot of conversations about benefits of home ownership. We're both homeowners ourselves. And the first one that I could think of was that as a homeowner versus a renter, you get to really lock in your payment, your monthly payment, for a long time. Now, I want to say you don't get to completely lock it in because taxes do increase over time, insurance prices increase over time. However, according to your loan amortization schedule, the principal and interest of the property, they have a set payment every month for what could be 30 years. Most people do elect to take 30-year loans. Versus you're in a rental, your rent could increase 5%, 2%, 10%. I've even heard 30% in some instances, especially in this area in downtown Jersey City.
And we saw that in New York City across the river during
So
after COVID.
That's one of the main benefits that I've always seen in home ownership is you have control of your monthly payment.
Good point. Actually, I want to add to that. So while you can lock in your rate, if rates go down, like right now, rates are relatively high historically, right? Hovering around 7%.
I'd say they're normal, but they're high in recent history.
Yes, compared to recent history. And if rates decline, let's say even just a percentage point to, let's say, 6 or high 5s, people that locked in their payment a year ago can actually refinance and re-lock in, but at an even lower monthly payment. So you have that optionality.
Yeah,
you don't have.
You can't do that as a tenant. You don't go to your landlord and say, "Hey, I want to
lock in a lower
rent."
So that's a good point. Actually, a secondary point that's kind of related, so that could be point number 2, is that you build equity. Owning a home or a condo, townhouse, you're building equity. And you're building equity in 2 ways. So the first way is every time you make a mortgage payment, and you can Google an amortization table chart, every time you make a mortgage payment, it's comprised of 2 things, principal and interest. I mean, most people also put their home insurance and property taxes into the monthly escrow amount, but that's separate. Every time you make your mortgage payment, you're paying off a little bit of your outstanding mortgage balance. Over time, that adds up. And the longer you hold your note, in other words, the longer the life of the mortgage, the more of your monthly payment goes towards principal as opposed to just paying the bank interest. So there's a benefit to not just home ownership, but owning your home for a long enough time where you see the benefits of principal pay down. So that's one way. Second way is price appreciation. So obviously, real estate can be volatile. Prices go up. Sometimes they go down. But if you zoom out and you look at a historical home appreciation chart, I mean, the line is very obviously going in one direction. So you also benefit from the cumulative price appreciation of owning a home. I ran, before we had this chat, I just ran a very easy calculation on an online calculator. And if you buy a home for $500,000 and you assume a relatively conservative 3% a year average appreciation, over 10 years, that home will be worth about 33% more. So a $500,000 home will be worth about $672,000 roughly, assuming only about 3% annual appreciation. So, I mean, that you certainly can't get that renting.
Yeah, absolutely not. Third benefit, I think we're on number 3 now.
I think we're on number 3,
is that if you're buying a home, a single family or multi-family home, then you're also buying the land. And what I've noticed is it's really the land that appreciates in value more than anything else, especially here in North Jersey because we have a very finite amount of land here and everything's very highly sought after in this metro New York City area. So if you own land, at some point, the value of that land may be worth more than the home that you had purchased for today. And at that point, you have the flexibility to be able to do other things with that land. You can expand your home, do an extension to make your home more valuable. You can also, what we see builders do all the time is knock down a home, build a new, bigger one. Very common these days, and that's what's happening to a lot of starter homes in North Jersey right now, and that's why we have a dwindling supply of them. So the land is the main focal point of the purchase, in my opinion, and that's why they say location, 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 because it's where is that land located, where is that home located, that's so important, and that's going to really predict how the value appreciates over time.
That's a great point. And I didn't even think of that point as I was preparing for this conversation. And I think a lot of homeowners don't think land value. They think, oh, this is the home, I'm buying the home. But you're right, it's actually the land that's important. I'll just add a couple of things to it. One, we're seeing that in the Heights where we're recording this in Jersey City. A lot of the new construction two-families that have popped up are where a developer buys a crappy old house, knocks it down, and builds a beautiful new construction two-family. The other point I wanted to make is corner lots are especially valuable because...
Here they are,
Yeah. And also oversized lots, because oversized lots create an opportunity for subdivision.
Yeah, potentially.
Obviously, you have to go through zoning and stuff like that. But you're right, there are some nuances with the land portion of your home purchase that a lot of homeowners are not even thinking about. So if you buy a home on a really large lot and the town allows for subdivision, you could profit potentially handsomely by down the road, subdividing and selling off the subdivided piece or building on it yourself if you have the experience and contractor contacts. So that's a great point. As you mentioned earlier, we're both homeowners.
Yeah.
I was a longtime tenant before my wife and I bought our first primary residence. And as a longtime tenant, I remember very clearly there were all these issues with our rental. Cracked tiles here, chipped paint here, a leak there, clogged sink here. And it was always call the super. And the super might show up or he may not show up. It might take a week for him to show up or longer.
Very common.
And a lot of times we just kind of let it slide because it wasn't ours. And there was no sense of motivation or drive to fix anything that's not ours. Whereas having now had experience as a homeowner, I love the fact that I have full control over the decisions that can impact our quality of life in the home we're living in. So that includes renovation decisions. That includes color choices, right? Like choosing the paint color. That includes things like what do we want the exterior to look like? How can we improve our curb appeal, right? What do we want to do on the inside that could improve the functionality of our home? So these are all things that are, to me, are very exciting about owning your own home, is that you're in full control of the decisions that impact not just what it looks like inside and out, but also your quality of life in it.
Yeah, and I would add to that, also it impacts the value of the asset as well. So we talked about the gain in equity over time. The renovations also help with the gain in equity of the property. Now, another benefit I want to add related to that is you, for example, who has done a lot of renovations yourself. You've DIY'd a lot of things in your current home and in your prior home as well, as I know. So you really learned and picked up a lot of skills along the way. And I know that YouTube got a lot of viewing time from you as well. But no, the learning of new skills is really great because you could apply that to multiple properties down the road. You can pass those skills on to your kids. You've refinished a basement. I think you've done a bathroom. You've done a lot of different things. You've obviously painted.
A lot of painting, yeah.
A lot of painting. I'm guessing.
I have a lot of clothes that have been stained
Yeah.
by paint, and my wife keeps saying, why don't you just have one painting outfit instead of ruining all these other clothes? But I just keep forgetting.
She's smart.
She is, yeah.
Well, probably a lot of outdoor work also you've done.
Yeah.
So anyway, so you've learned a lot. And then that also leads to more pride of ownership, which I know we all have as homeowners as well. And then you can, when you have people over, you have this sense of pride that you're showing your home, the home that you own, the home that you may have chosen what to do with. This is why we made this choice in this bathroom. This is how we chose these floors, these cabinets, these bookshelves, whatever it is. So there's a lot of pride that goes along with the home ownership as well. And that's part of the American dream, quote unquote, is it really leads to that sense of pride.
I agree. I gotta say, I even enjoy mowing my lawn.
Yeah.
It's free workout, fresh air.
I say yeah, but I don't do it. Yeah.
Another opportunity to save money, mow your own lawn, by the way. But to that point, so from the things I've done on my properties, like the current home and the previous home we were living in, it's actually taught me about different aspects of renovations and home improvement, and it actually made me smarter when talking to contractors and getting quotes.
And you're talking to your clients as well.
Correct.
Because then you can really speak from experience.
That's true.
And you might recommend them, hey, you should just do this yourself versus call somebody.
Yeah. And I had a recent experience, like we had to swap some things out under our sink, and I got a plumbing company to send 2 guys in a van, and they quoted a price that was sky high.
Yeah. For
like removing the trash disposal and swapping out a faucet with like a touchless faucet in our kitchen sink. They quoted me an amount. I was like, what? For like 2 hours of labor? No way. So I called my trusted handyman slash contractor. He did it for less than half of that dollar amount.
There you go.
And the reason is I have enough experience to be like, that's a very high number. No.
Yeah. Very good.
But it's only because I have experience dealing with certain things in the house and different renovations that I knew enough to be like, let me get a second opinion.
Right.
Another point that's I think a lot of our viewers will probably have in their minds is the tax benefits.
Yeah.
Right, because we've all heard about the many tax benefits of ownership. The IRS, the way the tax code is written, it was designed to incentivize home purchasing, home buying, and there's a lot of tax benefits, tax advantages to owning a home. One of them is that you can write off the mortgage interest portion of your payments. When you bought your house, if you paid points up front to your lender, you can write off the points.
Right.
You can also write off your property taxes. Unfortunately, it's capped at $10,000, which hurts people in expensive high tax markets like us in the tri-state area. But it's still, $10,000 is not nothing. Of course, the caveat here is that the standard deduction, is I think it's roughly $15K for a single filer and almost $30K for people filing jointly. So your itemized deductions, including mortgage interest, property taxes, and anything else, have to exceed the standard deduction for it to make sense, right? So
right.
The tax benefits only kick in if you have enough to deduct, as opposed to just taking a standard deduction. So we're also not CPAs or tax advisors, so definitely speak to your tax professional about
Yes,
this.
I was going to make that disclaimer as well. Well, hopefully we've outlined some of those major benefits of owning a home to you. And as always, if you are seeking a home here in northern New Jersey, use us as a resource. We have a team of agents that can help guide you whichever county you're looking in, and we'd be happy to help you. So thanks so much for tuning in.
Follow, subscribe, and please spread the word. Thanks for watching.